Hey, this is Daryl Henry. I've got a video for my construction entrepreneurs out there. This one is about general liability insurance. What is it? How much does it cost? And what do you need to know about it? First off, general liability insurance protects you for bodily injury and property damage that you cause to others. So hurting somebody or breaking something. It can happen in a couple different categories. One would be if there's a slip and fall at a premises, at a place. So maybe it's an office or a job site. That's one part of it. Another part of it is product and completed operations liability, which has to do with your work. It's if you're a plumber and you improperly install a pipe and that pipe bursts, and now there's hundreds of thousands of dollars of damage in the place where you did the work. That's a second key category of general liability insurance. So, how do insurance companies measure this and determine how much you should pay? It comes down to the type of work that you do, your payroll, and then your subcontracted receipts. So let's talk about each of these. The type of work is going to dictate how risky the work is. So insurance companies will say, well, more goes wrong with a roofing job than somebody installing floors. So this is one place to look to make sure that you're properly being categorized and also being properly measured to make sure you're paying the right amount of liability insurance. The second thing that they're going to look at is, so we talked about the type of work, we talked about the payroll, and the payroll is important because we have to look at how much do you pay W-2s and then how much do you subcontract out. Because in theory, you should pay less if you are subcontracting out some work to a degree. Companies get a little bit finicky if you have more than a certain threshold of subcontracted work because they feel like you lose control over the work, which is probably true to a degree. But in theory, if you subcontract out one part of your job, your subcontractor should be paying for whatever comes out of their work, assuming you have the right contract and assuming they have the right insurance. So when you're looking at the pricing of your liability insurance, you're looking at the type of work, the payroll associated with that work, and then if there's subcontracted work, how much did you pay those subcontractors? And making sure that they are properly insured so that you get this lower rate. Because otherwise, if they're not properly insured, the insurance company is going to say, we were going to get stuck with the bill anyway. You need to pay the insurance. That's how they'll think about it. And they're not wrong. If they're going to have to pay for the lawsuit, they need you to pay for the insurance so that they can properly fund the insurance program. And so we talked about what is general liability insurance, how's it measured, how do they determine the cost. And here's a couple things to look out for when you're looking at liability insurance. So you keep in mind that general liability insurance is for hurting something or breaking something. Hurting someone or breaking something. It is not for, it can get real dicey if we're talking about pollution. It's not for hiring and firing. It is not for a lot of things. And in particular, one thing, you have to be careful that insurance companies are not going to go back and say, we exclude this type of work, or you're not allowed to go to this type of place. So sometimes you'll see no underground. Sometimes they'll say, we don't cover roofing. You have to make sure that your program isn't excluding a key part of your work. All right, so appreciate you tuning in. Gave a good talk on general liability insurance. If you've got any questions, shoot me an email. I'm happy to talk to you. This is Daryl Henry.